Okay, so here's my basic hardware setup. I have a Lenovo PC with a Sandisk Extreme 64 GB flash drive. I believe the model of the Sandisk is CZ80, and I actually am running Windows off of the Sandisk. I have a Windows 7 Ultimate, and I have Kodi installed on the flash drive as well. This PC has a Displayport cable right here, which is hooked to my HDMI converter. But that's basically my setup for hardware. I'm feeding HDMI, converting it to component, and component is coming into my SlingBox. So that's the setup for hardware. Hi guys, okay, so let me continue with my setup as far as apps goes. Now this right here is one of my Chromecasts, and my Sling player, the model is M1. Okay, so I'm going to sling my SlingBox to my Chromecast, and as I showed you previously, my SlingBox is displaying one of my PCs. Now the PC that I have set up for the Sling player is not my primary PC, so it's not a problem for it to be a dedicated PC that is hooked up to the SlingBox. Okay, so that's the desktop. Now, FYI, I do not use a Sling player remote on this computer. I selected one, but it was just a bogus one. I do not use Sling player as a remote control. I use it basically as a monitor or a screen. So I'm going to open that up, and I have this PC hooked into my Chrome remote desktop. Okay, so on the bottom you'll see a message, your desktop is currently being shared. Next, what I do is I actually open up Kodi. I basically use Chrome Remote Desktop to navigate on this PC. So I can open up Kodi, I can open up any application. You can also watch MP4 files or any other files you have on your PC by using Chrome Remote Desktop. Now Chrome Remote Desktop does not have sound, so you can't really use it to actually listen to video, but you can at least open it up. Okay, so now I'm opening up Kodi. And let me minimize it. Now, just FYI, I had previously maximized Kodi, so what you will see if you have an app maximized, you'll see a blank screen. I don't know if you can see this on my iPad. You have a blank screen and you cannot get to anything. Now, the way that you can get around this is there's 3 dots in the corner. You can just send Control-Alt-Delete, and that's how you can get. And you say, start task manager, and at that point you can get back to the taskbar. So that's how, if you ever come into your Chrome remote desktop and you can't see anything because you have something maximized, that's the workaround. But anyway, let me go back into my Kodi. I'm going to minimize it via remote control that I have. So let me just go ahead and do that. Okay. So I'm still on the app, the Chrome remote desktop, so I'm going to navigate to a video, or you can navigate to whatever you want to, but say I'm going to navigate to a movie. So I select all the appropriate options to display a movie. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I used this Chrome remote desktop initially for my navigation because it's quicker. It's just I'm clicking on this screen, so it's quicker to navigate. So I'm selecting a movie, and that's an old movie, so hopefully I shouldn't have any copyright issues. Still waiting for the movie to start. Alright, So anyway, once I get the movie to start up, I am going to close my Chrome Remote desktop. I will no longer be using this to navigate, at least for the Kodi. So I'm going to stop sharing and close it. Chrome Remote desktop. Now, the next app that I use is a Kodi Remote app. There are a couple of apps that I use. One of them is called Saibu. I don't know if you can see it. It's the one, it has three, like it's like a diamond, a blue diamond, and it's SYBU. I don't know if you can see it, but it's SYBU, and it's a Saibu Kodi. So I'm going to use this remote. Now, in this remote, you have a couple of options of how to get to your Kodi. Now, I will link in my comment section one of the videos that I looked at of how to configure your Kodi to work with a remote control. But in this app, you can either have it search your Wi-Fi for a Kodi on the same Wi-Fi, or you can put an IP address in. For my setup, I put an IP address in, and I took it an extra step further. I actually did a port forwarding to my external ISP, so I can now control my Kodi remotely. Okay, so now let me just show you the remote. I'll go select the back button. Okay, now there's a delay obviously, and let me select the home button. So this is the home button, so I'll select that. Okay, now if I do the arrows, one of the arrows, I'll do right arrow twice. So I'll say 1, 2, right arrow. Oops, I think I did it. I hit it too much. But let me go to 1, 2. I won't press it as hard. Okay, so just so you can see that you can navigate with these buttons remotely. So this is actually, like I said, my Chromecast, and I'm controlling it via this remote control. And as I said also, previously I can control my remote control remotely. So if I use someone else's Chromecast, I can actually control the Kodi on someone else's Chromecast. I prefer this app to the other app that I mentioned that I have installed, because the two big things that I like on this is the maximize button, which is this little square on the bottom. You can maximize using that square. So you see these little lines here. I maximize so they go away. So on it'll be full screen. So let me close that, because I mentioned previously that when you have it maximized and you try and access it from Chrome Remote Desktop, you won't be able to access it easily. And the other thing that I like about it is you can exit Kodi via this app directly. So you have the option that says switch off, hibernate, reboot, or quit. So it allows you to exit out and close Kodi from this remote control. Now I'm going to show you the other remote control, so let me bring that up. Okay, and the other remote control is called Official Kodi Remote. And it's just the name. It's not necessarily an official Kodi remote, but that's what they call it. It's called Official Kodi Remote. And now the reason I like that remote, or that I have that remote, is because it allows you to connect to Kodi over 4G. So that app is called Kodi Remote. Actually, in the iOS store, it's called Official Kodi Remote. But it's this gray icon. So I'm going to open that up. Okay. So this is the official, the one that's, sorry, the other Kodi remote. Now on this one, I don't know if it's clear or not, but I'm connected to 4G. It says AT&T Lite, AT&T LTE. I don't know if it's clear or not, but I'm not on Wi-Fi. I'm on AT&T's network. I don't know if that's clear or not. It may not be clear, but I'm not on Wi-Fi. But using this remote, I can, let's see, navigate. Okay, so one to music. So let's push the button one more time. The arrow button right. Okay, and I can use, I'm on 4G and I'm able to connect to or navigate my Kodi. Now one nice thing about this, if I'm watching Kodi on my, say, iPad, I can navigate on 4G using this iPhone as my remote control. The thing that I didn't to make this not my favorite is you can't maximize with this remote, and you can't exit as easily as you can with the other one. In order to exit with this one, you have to use these arrow keys to basically navigate to this button in the corner. So that's how you would close it. But it does, but it does work. And as I said, it's the good thing about it is it works over 4G. I think that's basically it as far as the main apps. Now I'm using, as I said, I'm using SlingBox and I'm using the Sling Player apps, and I sling them from my iPhone or iPad. So I can take control back from the Sling Player and bring it back to the phone. But let me close this Kodi first from using the remote. So I'm going back to the remote. I'm using the Saibu remote, but as I said, you can use the other remote as well. You have to use the down arrow key in order to disconnect. And maybe let me just go ahead and do that. Okay, so to exit out of the Kodi, I press, this is the 4G remote, so I press the down key, arrow key, I press it again, and I'm in this corner, it's blue highlighted, and then I press it again, and then these exit is present, so I can exit out of the Kodi app using my remote. And I'm still on the AT&T network. Okay, so that's basically showing you how I work with Kodi remotely and how I work with SlingBox. Now, as I said, you have basically access to this PC, and you can display whatever's on this PC. So one other thing I can show you is, let me go back into this PC via my Chrome desktop, and I'm going to open up a video. And I just want to show you that, whatever you have on this desktop, you have access to, and you can display it. So now let me just tell you another thing about the Chrome Remote Desktop. As far as for the iPad, iPhone, the right mouse click is kind of, different. How you get to mouse right click. If you click on the screen, it's a left mouse click. So if I'm clicking, it's left mouse click. If I want to do a right click, I have to go to this top, and this mouse, which is usually gray, I have to make it blue. I just toggle it, and then when I do I toggle it, and I have to move this icon, this little mouse icon, my pointer icon, I have to put it over what I want to have click, and then I do a double click, and it does my right mouse click. So now I want to open up this video, I gotta put this little pointer, and I do double click, and it should open up a video. So now I should disable this. You need to disable this, or your navigation will be messed up. Okay, so now I've opened up a video, and I can maximize this video, and I will basically be, I can play a video on my Chromecast, or I can play it on my phone. So now it's playing on my Chromecast, but as I said, I have the app, Sling Player app, on my iPhone and my iPad. So now I'm going to bring it to my iPad, and I'll take control from the Chromecast. Now the Sling Player app actually costs about $15 if you purchase the you get the one that is for purchase, which is ad-free, or you can get the free one and just have to deal with commercials. The other apps that you can use is Roku. Roku has a Sling Player app as well, so you can sling it to your Roku as well. Let me show you. So now I am going to take this control from the Chromecast and bring it back to my iPad. So now you can hear the sound, but there is sound obviously on the Chromecast. I just had it muted. But this is my iPad, and I'm watching my PC, and I could be watching a movie as well. And if I need to close it, I just go to Chrome Remote Desktop, and that's how I would close it. So let me go ahead and close that. I'm thinking that's basically it. I hope this was helpful to you, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And as I mentioned before, I will leave a link to one of the videos that I saw that showed me how to set up a remote control for my Kodi. And as I said previously, hopefully this was helpful. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.